Hi everyone, it's Val. Today it's a little bit different. It's not about crafting or about my misery dollhouse. It's about Halloween items I found at the thrift store. I love collecting Halloween items and making videos about them. The last time I did a collection video was 8 months ago. So it's been a while and I was really missing doing those. Today I'm gonna show you 8 Halloween things I found in the last 8 months. I'm usually looking for vintage stuff, but when I'm at the store I don't have that information. So I just buy what I like, and when I come back home I look online if I can find a year or a date. I don't know, I love searching and learning about the stuff I buy. So for this video I decided to include research I did on some of those items. We will see if it's enjoyable or boring. You just have to tell me that. So let's see what I found. Broken witch. When I saw that witch on the shelf, I was immediately drawn to her. I love her look, I love how scary she is, and the fact that she's all black. I have never seen something like this before. She's made out of a hard plastic with a lot of details. Look at her hair and the wrinkles on her face. It's beautiful. She was made to be hung because on top of her hat she has an elastic, but it's broken. Also, if you flip her over, you can see she's empty inside. So all those elements, the elastic, the plastic, the fact that she's empty, reminded me of a prop I have. So I have had this prop since the early 2000s, and it has a long elastic, it's made of plastic, and it's empty inside, just like my witch. So I thought, hey, it's probably what she used to be, but she is broken. So I bought her and I told myself I would fix her. I want to paint her, I want to add a piece of fabric here, I would like to do something about the broken elastic, and maybe hang her close to my wall. I really think she needs a makeover. What do you think? Is that something you would like to see on this channel? Make sure to let me know in the comments if it's the case. I paid 95 cents for her. She was very dirty when I bought her, but before washing her, I wanted to make sure to film the price. So I don't have a lot of information on her, except that she was probably a hanging prop, and that she was made in China. So let's see what we can find online. I put a picture of her on Google to see if I can find a match. I did not, but one of the results got my attention. Look at that witch! It's exactly what I had in mind. She's looking a lot like my witch. It's the same hat, the same texture, the same features, but the color is not the same. So what do you think? Is that the same model but in bad condition or not? Please help me with this because I don't know. I feel like it's not exactly the same, but it's very close. This model is from 1996. I found other models similar to this from the early 2000s. So this research was not very successful to date my product, but maybe it will for the next item. Ghost. The second item I want to show you is that cute ghost. He made me think of Joanna Parker, and you know how much I love Joanna Parker. Even though I knew right away it was not a real piece, I liked it. I thought he was a great addition to my collection. Do you want to know how I knew it was not a real Joanna Parker from the get-go? It's a cute piece, and I feel bad for saying it, but the paint job is awful. I mean, look at that. He has purple on his face. The line that separates the hat from the head is super shaky. And he has orange under his collar. It's not perfect, and Joanna's work is perfect. For this little guy, I paid $4.50. As you can see, they stick their price tag over another one. It must be the original. I think I can see a faint $9.99. Let's see. Slowly. Yeah, I can read Home Sands here. To have more information, I put a picture on Google, but it was confusing. One listing said it was a new vintage style ghost, without mentioning any date. Another listing said it was a retro ghost pumpkin. They also added that it was vintage. But one result provided an answer. This post from Instagram. It was a code orange post, so we know that picture was taken at the store. And we have a date, August 2024. So now we know this little ghost is from 2024. Definitely not vintage. With my research, I also learned it was a part of a set with this cute witch and this cute pumpkin man. The Pagemaster Book. Probably like you, when I go to the thrift store, I love searching for books. It has to be interesting, clean, and it has to trigger something in me, like a real emotion. Just like this book did. And I'm talking about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from the classic series of The Pagemaster, the movie. It was the perfect book for me, for two reasons. First, it's about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know I love this story, I already talked about it in another video. It's so good. So that was my first reason, because it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And the second reason is, it's about the Pagemaster. If you haven't seen this movie when you were a kid, I'm sorry for you. I really feel like you missed something. It's beautiful, it's dreamy, almost nightmarish. The story is about Richard, a boy scared of everything. As he went to the store with his bike, he was caught in a big storm. To get away from it, he went into a library, but the library was enormous and spooky. As Richard was looking for a public phone, he got scared, slipped, and fell. That's when everything changed. He turned into a cartoon and became friends with 3 books: adventure, fantasy, and horror. His goal was to reach the exit, but for that he had to face his fear. He had to meet people from classic stories, just like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That part of the movie was my favorite.
May I assist you in some way?
Oh, hello there, Mr.
Dr. Jekyll.
I was really scared as a kid watching this scene, but I liked it. It was the main reason why I wanted to watch the movie. And also, it was my first introduction to the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So when I saw that book, I didn't hesitate. I wanted it. It's written, the Pagemaster Classic Series was inspired by The Pagemaster, a feature film presented by 20th Century Fox. So, the book from 1994 was inspired by the movie, also from 1994. Interesting. Some pages have a little drying. Some don't. Some have more than others. I haven't read the book yet, but I can say those drawings are awesome. As you can see on the back of the book, there's more books from that same collection. The Three Musketeers, Treasure Island, The Wizard of Oz, Oliver Twist, A Christmas Carol, Gulliver's Travels. And finally, it's hard to tell because the price tag is hiding it. And speaking of price tag, I only paid $1.79 for that book, a steal. Candle holders. How can you not like those ugly candle holders? I mean, look at that! I love their expressions, they are so funny. They really make me think of one of my mini tea sets. I have tiny decorative tea sets that are Halloween themed, and one of them has pumpkins just like this, with silly faces, and I really like it. I don't know if you know, but a long time ago I did a video about my mini tea sets. I think it was like the third video or something like that. It was in the early days of this channel. But the quality of the video was so bad, I decided to delete it. At that time I was still learning how to use a camera and how to set a lighting. It's not easy, So the video turned out very dark. At that time I had no idea why. I put it online and after I said no, it's not acceptable, and I deleted. But since they are my favorite items in my whole Halloween collection, I think I'm gonna show them again. Now let's go back to the candle holders. They were so cheap, 85 cents each. Underneath them, there are tags written Universal Electric Products, Boucherville, Quebec. No date, so let's see what we can find online. This time when I put the picture on Google, I had a match. It was one of the pumpkins, but I learned nothing from that listing except they were vintage, and the box surely looks vintage. When I typed the name of the company, this result came out. It looks old. On the package, it's written Universal Electric Products, 1988. So now we know for sure they were making stuff back in the 80s, which means they might be vintage after all. By searching more, I discovered that they were still operating between the 1950s and 1997. So my candle holders are vintage. Probably from the 80s or maybe the 90s. I'm so excited. Witch broom. There is not a lot to say about this item, except it's a beautiful witch broom from the 90s. I know it because the original tag is still on, and it's from 1995, which means this broom was in store the same year Goosebumps was first aired. 1995 was also the year Casper the movie and Dracula Dead and Loving It were released. So many Halloween classics that inspired a generation of kids. But it's the only item I don't know how much I paid for. I think the price tag was on the stick, but it must have fallen off. I don't usually buy costume accessories, but the condition of it was so great, and it's from the 90s, so I had to take it. Witch sisters. Witches might be my favorite thing about Halloween. I don't know why, I can't really explain it, I just love them. So I was super excited when I spotted those at the store. They are identical, except they don't have the same dress. One is black and the other one is silver. One thing I love about them is that you can move their arms. You can place them as you like this or like that. I paid $2.85 for each of them. I don't know if you can see, but under the price tag, there's a place where you can put batteries. And if you do, this is what happens. I think I prefer them without batteries. And one thing I really love about them is that they are made with basic materials. If you lift or dress up, you will see a cone made of cardboard, a sponge, some traces of hot glue. I like this. When I did some research online, I didn't find much. No match, but I found a similar witch. This witch, for example, almost has the same face, the same hands, and the same conic shape. The description says it's a vintage item from the 90s with a non-functioning battery-powered device. So like my witches, she is supposed to work with batteries. A lot of similarities which tell me they might be from the 90s. Silly bucket. I love buckets so much, but I try to limit myself because they take up a lot of space. When I buy one, it's because I really like it. So I really liked this one. I bought it because of his silly face. I just love pumpkins with funny faces. And maybe you already saw it in other videos. It's currently sitting on my desk and I'm using it as storage for my small buckets. For this, I paid $2.85. Near the price, we can see the brand that made the bucket, General Foam Plastics. By searching this online, I found something. My bucket might be from 2010. Maybe. Carnaval Book. As some of you know, my grandmother sewed all my Halloween costumes when I was young. If you want to see them, I made a video about them. I will leave the link in the description below. So making Halloween costumes was her favorite thing. She used to have a ton of Halloween patrons and books, just like this one, to give her some ideas. When I saw this, it definitely made me think of her. It's a French book called Carnaval, or Carnival in English. It cost me $1.79. It's a book that guides you to create your own costumes at home. And to add even more to the nostalgic effect, it was published in 2000. Something I like about this book is that they included charts. For each project, you have an idea of the complexity, the amount of money, and the amount of time you will have to spend. This is the chart of complexity. 1 scissor for very easy, 2 scissors for easy, and 3 scissors for it's getting harder. Now this is the chart of time. 1 hourglass for less than half an hour, 2 hourglasses for half an hour to 1 hour, and 3 hourglasses for more than 1 hour. Finally, this is the chart of money. 1 piggy bank for very cheap, 2 piggy banks for cheap, and 3 piggy banks for a little pricey. I think it was a very good idea to include that in the book. Now let's see what kind of costumes we can make with it. A knight with a sword and a shield. A princess. Robin Hood. A witch. A fairy. A clown. A pumpkin lady. I don't know why, but those kinds of books always come up with funny ideas, like this weird alien or this gift. But the award goes to the wolf. Why is it blue? And why are the feet made with yellow plastic gloves? This is so strange to me. And they were so proud of that idea that they put it on the cover of the book and on the back of the book to make sure everybody sees it. So that's about it. In all the items I showed you today, which one was your favorite? The Broken Witch? The Ghost? The Pagemaster Book? The Candle Holders? The Witch Broom? The Witch Sisters? The Silly Bucket? Or the Carnaval Book? let me know in the comments. Mine is probably the Carnaval book, just because it reminds me of my grandmother. You know, I had so much fun making this collection video. I might do another one very soon with my mini tea set. Who knows? So make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss anything. If you like that video, please like. It makes me so happy when I know that you had a good time with me. So that's it for today. Bye!